Welcome back to Covenant Financial Institute. Today I want to speak to the trader who is tired of repeating the same cycle. The trader who keeps asking, "Why do I keep failing?" The trader who knows the feeling of one bad decision turning into 5. The trader who has promised themselves, "Tomorrow I'll do better," only to wake up and do the same thing again. The trader who keeps overtrading, revenge trading, chasing the market, and then wondering why peace never seems to last. If that is you, then this episode is for you. Because the issue may not be that you need more information. You may already know enough. The issue may be that you have not yet learned the scripture that confronts the real root of your failure. And that scripture is this: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Proverbs 3, 5, 6. That is not just a verse for encouragement. For traders, that is a correction. It exposes a hidden problem that sits behind so much failure. Many traders do not fail because they are incapable. They fail because they are leaning too heavily on themselves. They trust what they feel. They trust what they fear. They trust what they hope will happen. They trust the pressure. They trust the urgency. They trust their own analysis more than they trust wisdom. And when that happens, the market becomes a place where self-reliance is tested and often exposed. Let us be honest about what really happens. A trader sees an opportunity. They feel excited. They jump in too. Soon, the trade goes against them. Now fear rises. They feel like they need to recover quickly, so they take another trade, not because it is clean, but because they want relief. That trade loses too. Now frustration shows up. Now they feel behind. Now they feel embarrassed. Now they feel pressure to make it back. So they increase size. They ignore the plan. They chase. They force. They revenge trade. And then the account and the heart both take damage. That cycle does not begin with the trade. It begins with what you trust. It begins with whether your heart is anchored in the Lord or anchored in your own understanding. That is why Proverbs 3 is so powerful. It does not just tell you what to do. It tells you what not to lean on. Lean not on your own understanding. Why? Because your understanding is limited. You can only see part of the picture. You do not know what the next move will be. You do not know what hidden risk is sitting inside your emotions. You do not know what tomorrow holds. You do not know whether what feels urgent is actually wise. But God knows. And if you will trust Him with all your heart, He will guide you beyond what your emotions can see. Traders fail when they try to use their own understanding as their final authority. That means they trade what they feel instead of what they planned. They hold on to losing trades because they cannot accept being wrong. They close winning trades too early because they fear losing profit. They chase missed entries because they cannot tolerate waiting. They overtrade because they believe more action will solve emotional pain. They keep trying to force outcomes instead of submitting to process. All of that is leaning on your own understanding, and the problem with leaning is that it eventually becomes collapse. You were never meant to carry the full weight of your trading decisions without surrender. You were never meant to make every choice from fear, pride, or pressure. You were never meant to build a profitable life from a heart that is constantly trying to control what cannot be controlled. That is why this scripture matters so much. It gives you a better way. The verse says, "In all your ways submit to Him." That is the part most traders miss. They want God to bless the trade, but not the process. They want God to increase the account, but not govern the heart. They want peace after the loss, but not obedience before the trade. But submission means bringing every decision under His authority. It means asking, is this trade wise? Am I moving in peace or pressure? Am I trying to prove myself? Am I trying to recover emotion? Am I trading because the setup is valid or because I do not want to feel left out? That is what submission looks like. Submission is not passive. Submission is not weak. Submission is the most disciplined thing you can do. Because when you submit, you are saying, Lord, I will not trust my impulse more than your wisdom. That is where straight paths begin. The verse says he will make your paths straight. That is the promise. Not that you will never face losses. Not that every trade will win. Not that the market will become easy. But that your path will become straight. Straight means less confusion. Straight means less self-sabotage. Straight means less wandering. Straight means less emotional spiraling. Straight means less chasing. Straight means less revenge. Straight means more clarity. Straight means more peace. Straight means more stability. And that is what the disciplined trader needs. Not perfect market conditions, a straight path. Not constant wins, a straight path. Not emotional highs and lows, a straight path. Now let us get even more honest. Most traders are not only fighting the market, they are fighting their own heart. They are fighting impatience. They are fighting fear of missing out. They are fighting the need to recover. They are fighting the pain of being wrong. They are fighting shame. They are fighting comparison. They are fighting the desire to make up for lost time, lost money, or lost confidence. And when the heart is fighting that hard, the hands start making bad decisions. That is why this scripture is essential. It does not just regulate your actions. It reorders your trust. It says, stop letting your own understanding rule you. Stop letting fear narrate your decisions. Stop letting emotion drive your entries. Stop letting pressure decide your size. Stop letting disappointment interpret your future. Trust the Lord. Submit your ways. Walk the straight path. Here is what I want you to speak before every trading session. I trust in the Lord with all my heart. I do not lean on my own understanding. I submit my trades, my thoughts, and my decisions to Him. I will not trade from fear. I will not trade from pride. I will not trade from urgency. I will not trade to prove myself. I will not chase what is not mine. I will wait for wisdom. I will honor discipline. I will move in peace. I will walk in a straight path. I will not let one loss become a spiral. I will not let emotion become my strategy. I will trust the Lord, and He will guide me. Say that slowly. Say it with conviction. Say it until your spirit begins to settle. Say it until your mind stops arguing. Say it until your habits start to change. Because the more you confess truth, the more your inner world starts agreeing with it. And the more your inner world agrees with truth, the more your outer decisions begin to change. This scripture can transform your trading because it changes your foundation. Instead of building on self-confidence alone, you begin building on surrender. Instead of trying to force results, you begin seeking wisdom. Instead of reacting to every move, you begin responding with peace. Instead of trading from pressure, you begin trading from alignment. And that makes you different. A trader who is rooted in self is fragile. A trader who is rooted in trust is steady. A trader who is rooted in ego is reactive. A trader who is rooted in surrender is clear. A trader who leans on their own understanding will keep stumbling. But a trader who trusts the Lord will begin to walk a straighter path. Here is your challenge for the next 7 days. Before every trading session, read Proverbs 3, 5, 6 out loud, write it down, speak it, pray it, and ask yourself one question. Am I leaning on my own understanding right now? If the answer is yes, step back. If the answer is no, move forward in peace. That one question can save your account. That one question can protect your emotions. That one question can help you break the cycle of failure. So if you have been wondering why traders fail, hear this clearly. They fail until they learn this scripture. They fail until they stop leaning on themselves. They fail until they submit their ways to God. They fail until they let Him straighten the path. But once they learn it, everything begins to shift. Fear loses its grip. Panic loses its voice. Urgency loses its power. And a new kind of trader begins to emerge. A steady trader. A wise trader. A peaceful trader. A submitted trader. A trader who does not just know the verse, but lives it. So today, choose trust. Choose submission. Choose peace. Choose the straight path. And before you trade again, remember this. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That is the scripture that changes traders. If this content blessed you, please subscribe, leave a comment, and like this video so more people can be encouraged.